Mr Farage.
Good evening.
Now, you're in Surrey, which is one of those councils which may apply to delay elections, which cost £1 million or £2 million. Do you really want to see 2 elections at double the price within 12 months?
Well, it's been 4 years, of course, since the people in Surrey and Kent and Sussex have been able to vote for their county councillors. We're told big devolution changes are coming. By the way, without any debate whatsoever, and I think there should be a full public consultation. Even without that, we're told it'll be 2028 before they're ready to have these restructurings. Well, that's 3/4 of the way through the next term. So there's absolutely no reason at all to cancel these elections, suspend these elections. And it's being done, of course, because the Conservative-held councils are absolutely terrified what the rise of reform is going to mean to them. So you've got Conservative cowardice, and frankly, in democratic terms, I think the whole thing's a disgrace.
Right. The government say in no circumstances would they be delayed by 3 years. And you've said this smacks of dictatorship. Do we seriously tell Newsnight viewers that we have to add to the name Pol Pot and Mussolini the name Roger Gough, leader of Kent County Council?
Well, my study of history tells me that only dictators cancel elections, all right? And I think what's going on here is wrong at every level. Let's have the elections, and then let's have a public debate about this dog's dinner of a proposal that we're getting from a Labour government. They didn't even put it fully in their manifesto. The idea that we get rid of district councils, all that does, it leaves our rural areas, our small towns, even more vulnerable to the decisions taken by big towns and big cities. And then over that we have a mayor, which frankly most people don't want.
Okay, I mean, the thing is, millions do vote for mayors, so that's one fact we have to remember. And also, elections have been cancelled before, including in the pandemic. But let me, since we've got you here in the Newsnight room, let me ask you about the triple threat to your own leadership. Elon Musk has lost confidence in you. You've also had 12 councillors leave or give notice to leave reform. And also Ben Habib, your former deputy, says you should go. Which of those 3 threats do you fear the most?
Well, Mr Habib's been gone since the election, and good riddance. As far as the councillors are concerned, they're nearly all parish councillors. And actually, the truth is that none of them passed vetting. We had a rogue branch putting people up. And I think you'll find in many cases there'll have to be by-elections because they weren't legitimately put forward. And as for Elon, well, he changes his mind. He said what he said. We had a disagreement. As you know, he wanted me to come out strongly in support of Tommy Robinson. My view was, whilst many things Robinson has said has been right, and it's wrong that he's in solitary confinement, I certainly don't want Tommy Robinson in my party. And so Elon wasn't very happy with me. But you know what? Since then, he's retweeted me several times. I don't think there's any long-term rift with Elon Musk at all.
OK, so what did you say to him when you spoke to him this week?
Do you know what? We absolutely agree that we don't want to be at war with each other in any way at all, and we have very similar aims.
So is that an answer to the question, what did you say to him?
No, because I don't disclose private conversations, but let's put it like this, we're on very good terms.
OK, so do you want his money?
Well, I mean, let's just get one thing straight. This idea of, $100 million was always a complete and utter, nonsense, tabloid-style nonsense. Would he consider giving us some money? Yes, he would. Would it be a huge amount of money? Well, it wouldn't be anything like that number, I can promise you that. It may happen, it may not, it would need to be legal. But you know what? We're being funded and fuelled by Joe Public, who are paying their 25 quids to join the party. Just tonight, I've been here in Surrey doing a big event, and over 1,000 people have joined. That's another £25,000 in the coffers. So right now, it's ordinary men and women in Britain that are funding our party.
And if they wanted you to accept Tommy Robinson as a member, the ordinary men and women, if they wanted you to, would you say you'd quit? Is it a resigning issue for you?
Look, I've made it clear for many, many years that I don't welcome former members of the British National Party into any of my political parties. Of course, there are people in the country who have sympathy for much of what Robinson said about the grooming gangs. He wasn't wrong about that stuff. It's the long criminal record, it's the former membership of the BNP, and I can assure you that the majority of this party are happy with where we're going. They're delighted with our rise in the polls, and they're very firmly behind me leading the charge.
Have you spoken to Donald Trump about your row with Elon Musk?
Look, I don't disclose conversations with Donald Trump or Elon Musk or anybody else.
Well,
I don't. But I will be at the inauguration.
Yes, I'm going to ask you about
the inauguration.
I'm going to ask you about that, Mr. Farage.
Yeah,
when you get
there,
will you be working with Peter Mandelson, Lord Mandelson, to try and bat for Britain? Will you be working together with Labour and the ambassador in DC?
If this surrender of sovereignty, which is wholly unnecessary, of the Chagos Islands goes through, and America realises that Diego Garcia, their most important military base in the world, will very shortly be surveilled by the Chinese Communist Party, I think any chance of this Labour government getting off on good terms with our most important ally in the world will be very, very seriously damaged.
And would you work with Lord Mandelson?
Do you know, I don't support the Labour government at all, but I've said all the way through, if it comes to forging relationships with not just Trump, but half his cabinet are friends of mine. I've known many of them for a long time. I would help them to forge relationships because it's in the national interest in terms of trade, intelligence, security and defence. We need America very badly indeed.
Thank you very much for joining us. Busy day of interviews, I know, at the conference. Thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you.